Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Oh, we're here, and it's been a while since we've recorded. This is the first time we're recording in a while, just to pull back the curtain a little bit. But,
You decided to, take a vacation and actually enjoy life as a human being for once.
I know.
Scoundrel.
I know it was a terrible idea. I know it was a terrible idea. I'll never do it again. Just kidding. I had a great time, but...
Excellent.
But we're back now. Now we have to deal with this hedgehog again. Oi.
It's not always the hedgehog, but it is always questions from our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members.
Yes, indeed it is. And we're going to start off with this one from number one emo Supersonic fan. There's a lot of qualifiers in there. They're number one emo and super and Sonic and a fan. In Sonic Forces, they mentioned that Sonic was tortured for months. What torture? My guy literally came out perfectly fine. How is he not traumatized? Did Infinite force him to watch Sonato music videos or what? I'm joking. Please don't kill me.
The nature and duration of that torture is vague and apparently isn't even mentioned in the Japanese version of the script.
Yes, he was just captured for 6 months or whatever, apparently. But he was not tortured in the Japanese version, so...
Keeping him in a confined space, I think, would be torture for Sonic on a, PG level. So let's chalk it up to that and just kind of move on.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Here's one from Andrew D. In Archie Sonic, how exactly do Light Mobius, Silver's future, and the Prime Zone relate to one another? In the Sonic Universe Light Mobius arc, Silver changes the course of his future by defeating T-Chaos, implying the timeline goes from Prime Zone to Light Mobius to PXE. But Sally and her children being in Light Mobius and depicted in PXE doesn't seem to mesh with the Mecha Sally dooms the world angle.
It's been a long time since I've had to think of this rat's nest of a plot detail, so I could be wrong. But I think the intention was Prime Zone was, obviously the central narrative. It was the basis of all timelines. And that Silver's time was reflective of that 200 years later. And that Light Mobius was a what if that just happened to run many parallels with Silver's future. So it was kind of a have your cake and eat it too scenario. If there's stuff that was cool from Light Mobius, yeah, sure, it endured into Silver's time. And if not, well, time's destabilized every time Silver changes something. So you don't have to worry about continuity. Yeah, that's the ticket.
Perfect. You got the perfect out. I like it.
And that way you could have fun with stuff and also, create red herrings without having to be beholden to them necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the most airtight thing in the world? No, but so it goes when you have multiple editors and multiple writers and an ever-changing license.
The most airtight thing in the world? Certainly not my Sonic. They let all sorts of air in that guy. He's got all sorts of holes. Here's one from Ann Tales. Starline's Isekai adventures continue. This time he's dropped into the musical The Music Man. The setting is a small town of River City, Iowa in the 1910s. Just as Starline's getting his bearings, he notices the entire town dancing and singing along with a traveling salesman who promises to form a band for the kids despite having no musical experience. Does Starline see through the charade? Or does he get just as captivated by Professor Harold Hill and start breaking out into song?
I imagine initially he's on board for the grift.
Yeah.
Here's someone who is a theatrical con man, getting people to eat out of the palm of his hand. Absolutely. And it has show tunes. Sign him up. But being the fuzzy little number that it is, he would eventually come around and realize that, no, maybe they are doing something good here, and maybe it is okay to just roll with it. So this is a happy ending for the isekai.
Okay. But the other incarnations of Starline are still out there going through their own isekai adventures, so it does not end here.
Gotta make the question somehow.
For all of them, does not end here. And then he gets ran over by a truck. No, I'm kidding. Wait, no, maybe I'm not kidding. Batman 69 LOL has a question. How would you pitch a 12-issue Rouge the Bat and the Tick team-up comic book? Okay, Random, but all right.
That's intimidating to me.
I don't know how you even would pitch a Tick comic, because like that is intimidating. Just Tick. Like, why do you have Rouge in there too?
Like Tick's brilliant, dry satire is a level of comedy I don't know if I can achieve, to be perfectly honest. But
yeah,
that wasn't the question. I suppose the central narrative would revolve around Tick trying to hunt down this incredibly elusive international super spy.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully he has the help of Rouge to track down this incredibly intelligent and sexy and heart-themed, bat-winged international spy. Goodness, who could it be, Tick? Who could it be?
She's trying really hard not to laugh the entire time.
And along the way, she assists him in inadvertently discovering and foiling the plans of various nefarious groups, be it Chairface Chippendale or whoever else they come across. But also every town they visit, an expensive jewel goes missing, and Tick is just beside himself because this crafty spy and thief is always one step ahead of them. And, Rouge is quite content to continue him to help because, goodness, he is such a easy mark. And then she finally gets a little too overconfident and tricks him into helping her steal her final mark until that's a bridge too far and she ends up getting caught, and Tick gets credited for unmasking everything. And as she's being hauled away to answer for her crimes, she gets a knock on the door. Tick has leapt to her rescue because clearly she's been framed and he's going to get her out. And don't worry, best buddy, he'll continue the trail, but she needs to go into hiding.
Of course. She can't go to jail. Who would put Rouge in jail? How dare they?
I figure Arthur gives up trying to convince Tick about halfway through.
Yeah.
He just washes his hands of it.
It's just funny that Rouge is even there. Like, who? I like it. I'd read this.
I will accept this. I will accept this purely on the merit of having an excuse to just say Tick exists in Sonic's world. Like all the crazy superhero hijinks are just on the human side of things, and then we can have a Tick and Sonic Man crossover at some point.
I'm down. Let's do it. Let's do it. Heck yeah. All right, here's a question from Chaos Sonic 1. A long time ago, for Worlds Unite, you suggested X to join in Super Sonic and the Super Armor Mega Man Super forms with a Super Ultimate Armor form, which looks like a golden version of the Ultimate Armor from Mega Man X4. Sega said no. So what would the super forms of Zero and Axel look like?
To be clear, I wanted it to be, I forget the exact model name, but the souped up armor he gets in Command Mission.
Yeah.
The one where he's got like twin launching cannons and half of the Starship Enterprise coming at his back.
Yeah, because that's awesome.
A gold version of that. Like, it's just nutsoid.
Did Sega say no on that, or did Capcom?
I think it was Sega, just because they didn't want too many super forms running around. Which,
but it's Mega Man though. Like, it's only during the crossover.
They gave no notes whatsoever on Super Armor Mega Man in the first one.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'll take the if we have to have equivalent exchange in this,
I guess
I'll take that for that moment rather than everybody's super for the sake of super.
I guess whatever.
There was no consideration for a Super Armor Zero or Axel because it was just supposed to be the principal characters, or at least the representatives of the titles. The joke would have been that Styx would get a super form too, and it was just kind of your standard golden thing. And she's like, "Huh, weird." And,
that sucks.
Play that for a laugh.
I know, I hate that, but I hate that. I want real super Styx, please.
If we were to do something with them, though, I don't know. I feel like Zero's whole gimmick is, tapping into the dark side and such. I mean, a black and gold version of Nightmare Zero would be pretty sick. I ain't gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd be more inclined to see like a Darkspine Zero if we're going to go that route. I mean, be thematically on point.
Yeah.
As for Axel, I don't know. His hair can't get any spikier, so maybe he just turns into Sigma with the spiky hair.
Weird. That's weird. I don't know if I like that.
He doesn't like it either.
Nah, no one likes that. Nobody likes.
Yeah, I'm tall. Wait, what's with this chin? Oh God!
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Here's a question from Cool Christy 1. If Sega made a new Sonic game based on Sonic Unleashed, what improvements do you think they should make with Sonic being a werewolf/werehog with game design and gameplay? Do you think the comics would benefit from its dark side creepiness?
Honestly, Werehog was not creepy.
No.
Dark Gaia in general was not. Dark Gaia itself was hideous, to be sure. That was.
I mean,
the Dark Gaia monsters were not creepy.
Well, maybe if you're like, I don't know, 6 years old when the game came out, that might be a little scary.
Maybe. But
and it's been that long, Ian, that people who were 6 years old when Unleashed came out are adults now.
You shut your face.
I'm just saying. Some people thought Luigi's Mansion was scary.
You know what? I actually got kind of creeped out by a few segments.
It is a little unsettling in some places. Yeah, true.
It achieves some atmospheric stuff where I'm like,
yes.
I'm getting kind of creeped out by this.
Yeah, Nintendo's good at that.
Candy coated horror, but like the Dark Gaia stuff in general just never really came across as all that particularly threatening, even its effects on other people. So I honestly don't see that being an element. The creepiest and darkest I feel like the series has gotten consistently was Metal Virus, and that was very divisive. So
yeah,
if you were to take the formula of Unleashed and use that as the foundation for something else, I'd say make Sonic and Knuckles too.
Yeah.
Sonic has his daytime stages, and nighttime stages are Knuckles brawling things. We don't need Werehog. We didn't need Werehog the first time. Give Knuckles his due.
Yes. Bring Knuckles in.
Or if you absolutely have to keep with a light-dark dichotomy, make it Shadow. He's already got kind of a brawler moveset in 06. Speed up the platforming a bit, have him do the whackety-smackety Devil May Cry combo system.
Yeah.
There you go. You're light and you're dark.
If you want to do more characters, have Sonic and Blaze for daytime and Knuckles and Amy at night.
Yeah.
But Amy hammer characters in the face. I'm down. Hammer monsters gone.
I know there are a large contingent of folks who enjoy the Werehog, and I will admit the design and some elements grew on me over time, but he's done, and I'm kind of fine with him being done.
We don't need.
I say he as if it's another character. It's not another character.
It's just
transformation.
It's just Sonic.
Like the entire point of his character lack of arc is that he was too pure of heart to be corrupted. So
we really don't need another. We don't need it again. Man, if we ever get a Sonic game where Sonic has an actual character arc, I mean, I'll have to like eat something that's not normally edible.
A hat is usually recommended.
I don't know if I want to eat a hat though. I'll come up with something else, but maybe it'll be like an edible hat. Yummy.
Congratulations, you invented Fooddoras.
Gee, thanks.
Either that or a wide brim snack.
But I see what you did there. Damien That Hedge has a question. How did you feel watching the classic cast grind in superstars after the Tails special? In an admittedly cute way, referenced Sonic using soap shoes in Sonic Adventure 2.
Fine, it didn't stand out to me. Grinding on rails has become a staple of the gameplay franchise.
I mean, if they were in
the franchise, I should say.
They were doing it back in Sonic Advance 1, weren't they?
They were doing it back in Heroes.
Well,
to the soap shoes, but then everybody was grinding on various rail-like things in Heroes. And
I think Advance 1 was before Heroes, wasn't it?
Was it?
Maybe. I think it was. I think it was.
I mean, Rail
2001,
Train is about as
2001. While that, so it was coincided about with Sonic Advance or Sonic Adventure 2, roughly just after. So yeah, 2001. While Heroes was 2003. Yeah, 2003. So only Sonic and Amy could grind in Advance 1. Heck yeah, Amy, go Amy.
It's not like it's a character trait; it's a gameplay element.
It's just a thing. It's just a thing. Let's grind everywhere. It's fine. Go grind. All right, here's one from Daryl. I've heard tell that Ian used to sometimes hang out around the LP boards on Something Awful and field Sonic-related questions. Could it be true that Mr. Flynn was once a goon? Might Kyle have also roamed the boards, discussing retro racing titles and the soundtracks therein?
Did you, Kyle?
No. No, I was never on Something Awful. It cost money, right?
It did. It was a one-time fee to weed out people just like posting crap. And then they had a gimmick every now and again where they'd set a honeypot thread and say, reply to this thread to get your account deleted. And people would do that for the joke, but they would actually delete their account, so they'd have to buy another account.
Buy it again, yeah. Yes.
And people kept falling for that. So, but yeah, I was on there for a little while. I don't know if I'd really call myself one of the goons. I wasn't part of the culture so much, but the old LP sub forum, when like LPs actually kind of became a thing, was neat to be at the ground floor and got to experience a lot of cool games. And there's still some LPers I continue to follow from those days. So, the level of, I mean, in the way that folks did them, like some of them were just screenshots with descriptions. Some of them were very light fare, but it tended to trend towards more almost documentary style playthroughs. And the ones I'm following now are by Chip and Ironicus, and those are incredibly in depth in their presentations and in their production quality. And most of my Metal Gear knowledge comes from their stuff, which I'm pretty sure started back on the old Something Awful LP forums.
Oh, I was, well, in 2001, first of all, when they began charging a fee to be on there, I would have been like 14 years old. So, so no, I did not pay to get on Something Awful. And by the time I was old enough to probably bother paying with something like that, it was 2005. So I would have been like, I think I just kind of, at that point, I wasn't really involved on anything other than the OCR forums, Overclocked Remix forums. Mm-hmm. So, and I was just like, I felt the same way about Something Awful as I did 4chan, where I'm just like, that can just stay over there. I don't need that. I don't need this. That can be over there. I'll be over here and have fun. Not me. So, yeah.
Are they even still running? I haven't been back there.
Something Awful? Yeah, they're still around.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. They've been through some a whole heck of a lot, apparently. So I know the founder has. We won't delve into that here. Mm-mm. Won't go into that.
But so, long answer short, yeah, I used to back in the day, but I don't even remember the last time I was over there. I don't even know. I don't even remember my username. I don't think I could get back in there. Money well spent.
Yay, you did it. You might have been banned just for being because now you're Ian Flynn. Now they know who you are.
Maybe.
Now they know who you are, and now you're banned. Who knows?
Oh no, the terror.
Ian is banned. Anyway, let's go on to this next question from Elias. I'm throwing a curveball and giving you a Jeffrey question. Would you say he wasn't just wanting to complete his mission to restore Nagas to the throne, but blinded so much by his own grief for the loss of his wife that he couldn't think rationally? I believe grief is a main motivation factor for him. Thoughts?
Correct. You picked up on the subtext.
Yay! You did it. You're smart.
Like Jeffrey's betrayal was supposed to boil down to he had lost all other direction and comfort in his life and just kind of defaulted to base level. This will give me structure and I can work off of that. And then when he achieved it, it's like, well, I did it and now everything's worse. Oops. So what would have been the follow-up arcs would be him taking responsibility for that, but that's all Lost Hedgehog Tales territory.
Jeffrey wins by losing. Here's a question from Happy Times. Well, I know the 900th adventure couldn't fit in everyone, like how Silver and the Chaotix couldn't make it in. How come the characters that did appear were only the Gamecast? For a celebration of Sonic's 900th English printed comic and a story that's also acknowledging the importance of Sonic's cast in all its adventures, it seems odd to not include any comic characters like Tingle and Whisper. Most we get is Starline getting mentioned, but not seen since it's his Warp Topaz that's driving the plot.
I don't know. I wasn't involved with all the stories. I pitched the framing device and wrote the intro and the outro, but beyond that, I had no hand in the stories that took place in the middle.
I mean, it's probably just to keep it from getting way too overloaded with characters, but yeah. Here's one from Hearts 13. A scenario with Dr. Julian Ivo Robotnik from SatAM/Archie and the High Evolutionary from the MCU. How would it play out? Do they trade notes? Do they team up to take down the Freedom Fighters and the Guardians of the Galaxy?
I honestly don't know if they could tolerate each other long enough.
Probably not.
I mean, with that much ego in the same place, it might create a singularity. If we're talking like pre-Great War Julian, maybe he would pull the whole subservient support character thing, trying to wrest power from the High Evolutionary, but it would not be a pleasant interaction. Like, maybe there would be some platitudes early on, but it would be vicious from the get-go. They'd tear into each other before any of the heroes were involved.
Probably. God, the High Evolutionary was like just his ego was gigantic. Like, you've heard of a planet-sized ego. This is like a universe-sized ego for that guy. Holy crap.
Planet-sized ego, he says.
But not intentional. Surprisingly.
You know what? I'm just going to give it to you.
Surprisingly. Not intentional, but I'll take it. Heroes Squad has a question. In number 63, Duo called Master Overlord as Metal Overlord, despite both being different. So are they the same now, with Master being a nickname?
I have to look at it again to see which one is like officially it, or how we used it in the comic, but they're effectively the same thing, yeah. It's Metal Overlord and Master Overlord are like boss definitions, but they're the same thing. Just because one has wings doesn't really make it a different character. It's the same entity. It's kind of like that thing where folks are saying that BioLizard and Final Hazard are different things. And it's like, they're like different titles for a boss encounter, but it's the BioLizard. Just because it's fused to the arc doesn't change the fact that it's the BioLizard. It's the same critter.
Oh, it's like the distinction between Sonic and Werehog Sonic. It's still Sonic.
Yeah.
Here's one from Morless. In your opinion, who do you think would win a shoot style, i.e. the result is not predetermined, pro wrestling match amongst the members of the Sonic cast, IDW included? Just to make it more fair and not a boring answer, let's say that Big is busy fishing off in the Arctic Circle. In my opinion, Vector and Amy probably have the best chance. And just for fun, could you come up with some ring names for our intrepid grapplers?
Let's see. I mean, it would be, if we're talking like a cage, not even a cage match, but like what it was, a Royal Rumble where everybody's kind of just tossing themselves into the ring. I could see Sonic lasting a while, but he would upsell somebody. He would take the fall for the sake of somebody else's crowning achievement.
He never fears the fall, after all.
Mm-hmm. You might even have a bit of a, what they call a Canadian standoff, where you've got Sonic and Amy each trying to send the other up. Amy, pin me so you can win this. No, I'm going to let you win. You're the hero. Yeah, but you get to shine for once. And that's when Knuckles like pile drives them both and says, I win.
That's right. Here comes Knuckles. Ah!
Tut, tut, Sonic. It looks like pain.
Here comes Vector with the steel chair. Back off.
Tangle, I can definitely see being big on the showmanship. She might come out on top. She might be the one to win it by virtue of sheer stage presence. If we're bringing any of like the classic characters in, Mighty would have to take a fall because he'd just win by default.
Yeah.
I think Tails would get pretty far, but part of the appeal of his character is the struggle and the eventual shortcoming. But he'll come back next year. He'll claim the belt next championship.
Next time. Who's doing commentary?
Commentary?
I feel like at least Omega has to be one.
Maybe we've got Jewel and Omega doing commentary.
Works for me.
This is quite a rousing battle, wouldn't you say? Do you have any pointers? They should kill each other. No,
murder.
And we'll avoid the obvious one and just say Cream is watching from the sidelines this time.
Okay, good.
Vanilla deemed it a little too rowdy.
But Vanilla shows up secretly.
No. She just went to get popcorn. Never mind who that masked wrestler is with the long ears.
Yes, the masked rabbit. Who's the masked rabbit? Who's the mysterious masked rabbit?
And why is her signature move called the Vanilla Extractor?
Not the Vanilla Extractor. No.
Except for Vector, he's like, yeah, sign me up.
Oh.
But yeah, we'll say Tangle wins in a flourish of color and dazzling acrobatics.
Beautiful.
Like, if anyone's going to Rey Mysterio this thing, it's going to be her.
I'm down. I'm down for Vanilla taking out Shadow. Ultimate life form.
Ultimate disappointment.
Yeah. I mean, I guess for stage names, I guess Shadow would have to be the ultimate life form.
I don't know. I'm kind of blanking on the stage names here.
El Gran Gordo, he has to make an appearance, of course.
He always shows up when we do these.
I know, but he's still required. He needs to.
He can be the unlockable character in the video game adaptation.
I guess.
Of this question about video game characters.
Amy power bombs him through a table.
There it is, the Pico Pico Slammer.
And the Great Gonzalez. Bring in the Great Gonzalez. Why not? Let's finally have this Mario and Sonic crossover. Another one. A different one. The Mario and Sonic crossover nobody asked for. Another Mario and Sonic crossover nobody asked for. Come up with some stage names of your own and leave them down in the comments below. Here's one from Mr. Manbaby. In the song All Hail Shadow, the third line of the first verse reads, obliterating everything that's not your friend. However, we know Shadow doesn't like having friends. Does this mean Shadow's going to destroy the world?
Yes, because all the Sonic lyrical tracks can be taken 100% literally.
I mean, you do have to follow your rainbow, Ian.
And somewhere out there's a very shaved Sphinx.
Well, it was just so cute.
I know. I mean, I'm not judging it. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Knuckles really doesn't chuckle, ever. Despite it being the first thing he does when he shows up in the games. Ever.
I keep telling you, man, that's chortling.
Oh.
Clearly different.
Okay. Yes. And also, I guess, do not F the pain away. That's not literal. That did not happen. The bed is not broken. Don't worry. The bed is fake. Don't find your flame. Stay away from the fire. That's bad. Here's one from Mixer17. Ignoring the multitude of reasons it'll never happen, what's the absolute dumbest stuff that would happen in a friend trio consisting of Sonic, Tangle, and Surge if they all get bored and decide they want to have stupid fun together? And do Tails, Whisper, and Kit even attempt damage control? Or do they just kick back, get popcorn, have the first aid kits ready, and just watch?
The latter three wouldn't know because Surge would be the first one to say, hey, if we're going to do this, those three are going to tattle on us and make us stop. And then Sonic and Tangle would be going, you're right. We'll go over here first.
This is a Boom episode.
More or less, yeah. I mean, it would more or less be Sonic and Tangle and Surge testing the limits of their physics in this universe. You thought trying to play Knuckles Chaotix was bad? Now imagine a third character on this bungee tail cord nonsense.
Oh no. Want to see how long we can stretch that tail?
Exactly.
Oh no.
Like, if Sonic and Tangle can turn themselves into a living bolo, what happens when you add a third fulcrum to that? Okay, that's fun. What happens when you add lightning to that? Ooh, that's fun.
In the alternate universe where Surge doesn't want to kill Sonic outright. Maybe she thinks it sometimes, but, you know.
They arrange the tail just right, and Sonic and Surge maintain proper speed. Can Tangle water ski behind them?
Oh no, she's going to jump the shark.
A killer whale in this aspect.
Yes. Silly. And we got one last question before we take a break. It's from Noni. Ian, why don't the members of the Chaotix just take art commissions to help pay for things?
Well, because Vector can't draw. Charmy still is a child level in his compositions. And the only thing SBO does is like antiquity Japanese ink brushing, and he's still bad at it.
Nobody wants to pay them in money. They keep trying to pay them in exposure.
Like, if you want a stick figure drawing, sure, any three of them can help you with that. But if you're looking for something a little more robust, not so much.
No. Charmy's
Team Chaotix. They're not artists. They can't even try.
They can't sing either. Charmy can only scream his name. Bee, 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 Charmy, bee. Oh, boy. All right. I'm not going to add this. Noni, this is not going into the show. I'm not putting this in the show. We need to get out of here and take a break before this gets any worse. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying anything about fancy antiquity brush art feet pics.
We have an ad sponsored by patron Dominic the Raccoon. Hello, listeners. Are you interested in platformer characters experimenting with narratives? How about varied combat systems? Or perhaps want to see more of the red guy that Sonic goes to the Olympics with? Then let me introduce you to Mario RPG Central, a fan-made Discord server. Dedicated to the surprising amount of Mario-themed RPGs released over the years, this community bolsters discussion channels, has custom emotes, and enjoys occasional events. With a moderation team that seeks to maintain a pleasant atmosphere, it's a chance to make new friends as well. So please consider joining the server or follow them at Mario RPG Central on Twitter with the links in the episode description below.
We're back, and we have a question from Nate Ray. Shadow and Amy Rose body swap. What would happen? Please, I want chaos, not the character. I'm feeling evil.
I think Amy would struggle with the air shoes at first, because how do you turn them on and off?
You don't.
Do you flex your feet a certain way? Do you walk a certain way? She keeps falling over, blasting off into walls. It's stupid. Help!
She keeps moonwalking.
And otherwise, she's going to be very respectful of Shadow's body autonomy and just not touch anything. She's going to sit here and wait for things to calm down and go back to normal. And, she would go ask for help, but she can't figure out how these stupid shoes work. Until she finds a Chaos Emerald, and then she does Chaos Control first try and freezes time so she can just hobble and crawl wherever she needs to go, but she isn't wasting the entire day.
Who's the first one to take off their inhibitor rings?
That would be Shadow as Amy because he can't lift the hammer and he doesn't understand why.
Good.
He isn't really even sure how it got there, but, it's here, so you might as well use it, but he can't move it. She flings it around like a baton. How is this possible? He doesn't understand.
He is not worthy.
Then he drops the inhibitor bracelets, and he still can't move the hammer, but just by attempting it, he shifts the continental plate.
I'm here for it.
Out his window, all of a sudden he's on beachfront property. When did that happen? And now Shadow's crawling on the floor asking for help with his shoes. What is going on with today?
Everything is screwed up. Everything is messed up. Oh boy. This would be adorable. I'm glad the Pico hammer is Mjolnir. Amy deserves it. She truly is worthy. Okay, Cheese Stick has a question. Ian Flynn wakes up in a cold sweat, a suffocating aura emanating from his cell phone. Trembling, he inputs his passcode and opens his email. Flynn quickly learns his dread was warranted as he scans a message from whoever his boss is. Sega, despite all previous indication they would never do this, is bringing back pre-reboot Archie Sonic, but it's not for a comic. They're making an MMO, and they want Ian to basically write the entire thing. With a mere 2 hours of sleep under his belt, Flynn begins to snooze as a question goes through his mind, influencing his dreams. What kind of playable classes would an Archie Sonic MMO have?
You're joking, but do you realize how many nights I've basically gone to sleep theory crafting various game docs or designs or concepts?
I figured it was every night.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That actually gets kind of close to home, but a pre-reboot MMO. I'm not super well versed in MMOs, to be perfectly honest.
I mean,
I haven't had the time.
You got your three pillars: your tank, your DPS, and your buff healer person. So I guess you'd probably have to have those three classes at least.
I suppose that's
in some form.
Decent enough place to start. I mean, Bunny would be a tank, to be sure.
Yeah.
Sally, being the tactical one, would be your buff, your support role.
You could also have like a dedicated tactician role, sort of like. This is not a MMO though. I was thinking of Fire Emblem. It's like, no, not really an MMO. That's not going to work. Sonic is definitely like a DPS role.
Oh yeah, sure. I think you'd have to kind of step back and see what kind of general roles the very extended cast could neatly fall into. You would have a lot of mechanics between Tails and Rotor and everybody else who futzed around with machines. I don't know if you would use that as like a class that could make summons, so to speak, or if they would be support with various shields or stuff. Or maybe they're subclasses. You get your mechanic base class, and one works with constructing support units while the other one works on supporting with equipment.
Like an engineer class.
Let's see. There's so many weird and varied characters. For so many like freedom fighter teams around the world pre-reboot, their actual like abilities and roles were not that clearly defined in a lot of cases.
Amy, I think, would be like a paladin. She's like a healer, but also like a fighter.
Oh, yeah.
So kind of like a healing and just smacking things around a bit with a big heavy weapon with armor. It'd be awesome.
I guess you'd have a fair number of like ranged units.
Yeah.
Between Bob with his bow and Bo with his bow and rings and whatnot. You could vary that up a bit. It gets kind of weird in the 7.0 expansion when they open up the oceans just to include the 40 Fathom Freedom Fighters. But
that is very odd. It's a very strange thing.
It triples the size of the map. Can you really complain about that?
I'm being told
the Finja class is just absolutely broken, but at that point, you're so deep in the game, why not have some fun?
You gotta have your monks. So why not have a sea monk? Monks are fun. Fun as heck. Get an ocean, but you can't swim. No, Sonic's the only one who can't swim because he's a nerd. He never learned how. He spent too much time running.
Although that would have been a fun world map to explore. Actually walk into. Well, I guess it kind of depends on.
I'd like underwater worlds. So many people hate water levels. I think there's a lot of cool ones though. I get it. They like slow you down and stuff, but I still think there's a lot of cool water themed worlds and stuff you can have too. I'm down. Here for it. We're kind of getting away from the question though. But hey, if you have any ideas for an Archie Sonic MMO, put them in the comments. Here's a question from Rabbit Haver. I love that nearly all the Mobians in this universe are like 3'6" on average. I just want to pick them up and hug them. So how would the cast react to being picked up and called adorable by a random human in our world, especially Team Sonic, the Chaotix, and Silver and Blaze? That's assault.
Sonic would tolerate it briefly. Haha, all right, you're a big fan. That's cool. Okay, time to let go.
Mm-hmm.
Tails would be incredibly bashful about it, but wouldn't be able to like fight against it because he wouldn't want to hurt anybody's feelings or be insulting. Amy would be kind of likewise flustered, and if it lingers a little too long, she'll go from flustered to a little impatient to possibly violent. Knuckles, it depends. If it's like a small child or one of them lady types, he might actually kind of endure and be kind of flustered and not know what to do because he doesn't know how to handle the ladies. He's not going to punch a kid.
What? Why not?
He's a good guy.
Oh, okay, fine.
Now, anyone who doesn't fall into those two categories, no, you're getting punched right then and there.
He'll punch a bat lady, though.
If she steals his stuff, but the minute she does anything remotely flirtatious, he just doesn't know what to do.
I mean, same, but still.
Charmy would be all like, yay, hugs!
Yeah.
Espio would be extremely uncomfortable, but
and go invisible.
Would kind of just turn invisible and hope they think he's gone. I can still feel you. Vector's a good bit taller than everybody else, but
yeah, he's he's like human height, or maybe even a little taller.
Pretty close. So I don't know. Vector strikes me as the type of guy is if he sees that dude at a convention trying to be all creepo with the sign free hugs, he'll take that hug.
Yeah, he'll do it.
Teach that guy a lesson. Hey, I love free stuff, Kimmy.
It's true.
Silver's in the same boat as Tails and Espio. He's just going to be a flustered puddle. I don't know what to do. He's probably starved for touch, considering this timeline.
Poor Silver.
Physical contact that doesn't involve applying a tourniquet. Wow.
Oh.
Blaze will not have it.
Blaze is not interested. No.
No. She will not be violent, but she will not humor it. No, sir.
No. You're going to get burned a little. Just enough to put that fear in you. Oh, man. Yeah, and Big's like, okay.
Yay, hugs.
Yay.
You're not really hugging Big so much as pressing yourself to him.
Yes.
You have the wingspan to hug Big. I don't know what you are, but you ain't human.
It's very comfy. It's like hugging a Snorlax.
Beanbag chair that smells of fish.
Hugging a Snorlax. Man. All right, I think that's enough. Those are the ones they asked, so we'll go on to the next one. This next one is from Reckons. Tangle and Blaze go on a date. Well, it doesn't have to be a date, but it is a mutual outing like Sonic and Blaze had in IDW number 63. How does it go? How giddy is Tangle? And how long before Blaze has to take a break because Tangle is just too much?
I mean, I see that scenario working well enough.
Yep.
And Tangle's like, oh, you're from another dimension. Let me show you around the neighborhood and the neighboring regions and the neighboring continent. Let's just go have fun and adventures. And Blaze is like, thank you. That's very hospitable of you. And I know we flanderized Tangle a bit, but I feel like if it's a matter of adventuring and exploring and whatnot, the wild goofiness is tamed a bit. She has the outlet in just the sheer joy of movement.
Mm-hmm.
And Blaze herself can also, match her, not necessarily move for move, but keep pace in her own way. So there would be a fair bit of exploration and, mutually good time had by the two of them.
Oh, so it's Marine Part 2.
More or less. Just, I imagine Tangle a little more tolerable for longer periods of time.
Yes. But Blaze can never truly escape Marine. No matter how much he tries. Less accent, though, but that's about it. Here's a question from Rockamillion. Ian, did you recently say you're not currently writing for IDW Sonic? I can't remember. If so, do you plan to return to the comic at some point?
As of this recording, I am not currently working on any IDW stuff, no. I have stuff that will be coming out eventually, #KnowingSmile, but I'm not working on anything right now.
Then what are you working on?
Evan is lead writer, and if there's other projects going on, I don't know necessarily. And sure, I'll be back whenever they want me. I just haven't been asked to contribute anything for a bit.
Then what are you doing?
Right now, I'm working on Secret Project number 1.
Okay.
Secret Project number 2. I don't think it's that secret, but I'll just hedge my bets on that one. Waiting to hear back if I'm going to be picked up for Secret Project number 3.
Okay.
Waiting for approvals to move ahead on Secret Project number 4.
Okay.
Just wrapped up another Secret Project, so I guess that one's done, but that's not going to be for a bit. Working on Dragoon, obviously. Working on Claus McGee. Those aren't secret. They're just slow. Working on an indie project. We'll call that Secret Project number 6.
Okay.
I don't think he cares whether or not I say I work on it, but it's more fun to have that air of mystery.
#KnowingSmile.
So right now, as of this recording, what I'm working on the most of is BumbleKast, because I'm waiting for everybody else to get back to me. Which, on the one hand, is like, great. Now I can actually have some time to play some video games. I've actually been going through Mass Effect again.
What?
On the
Weird.
other hand, there's like no income coming in this month. So
oh
it's
boy.
spooky. That's the freelance life for you kids. Feast or famine.
Breaking news, Ian Flynn has been fired from IDW.
Yeah.
You are fired. You're fired, Ian. They'll rehire you soon, I'm sure. Here's one from Scourge Time. We now know Scourge loves slasher flicks. So what would he dress up as for Halloween, and what would he do to the neighborhood? Well, there goes
slasher character and terrorize the neighborhood.
There goes the neighborhood.
Exactly.
It goes gone.
I don't think he would have the patience to get too much in character to do Jason.
No.
I don't think he can stalk people menacingly for long enough. I think he would want to race up and cause mischief. So.
He is definitely a Freddy guy, yes. He's absolutely, he's a Freddy, 100%.
Trash talking, costume destroying, candy stealing, depending on how far you want to go, face maiming. Just he really gets into the spirit.
Don't forget the power glove. Oh man, what else did he say? What else? What other video game quotes did he have? He said something. I know he's saying stuff like, "What do you know? I beat my high score." Stuff like that. Silly. I like Freddy. I mean, he's terrible. He's a monster, but I mean, he's also likable. He's very funny. All right, here's one from Scurvy Pirate Dog. With the Sonic/Mega Man crossover, we got introduced to the concept of roboticized masters, which showcased what the Sonic cast would look like as robot masters, but also what Mega Man would look like as a bandit when he became Mega Man. But what if we took this crossing over of robot elements further? What if Eggman made metal counterparts to the Mega Man cast? Metal Mega Man, Metal Proto Man, Metal Roll.
I feel like we actually kind of discussed this during development at some point, and we never really pursued it because how do you make a robot copy of a robot?
Yeah,
Now, I know that
make them evil.
the Metal series has an aesthetic to it.
Yes.
So, something that is sleek and cool and sinister, a Metal Sonic styled Mega Man. I get that.
Yeah, but the jet engine in his chest, in his torso.
Maybe the jet engine in his buster.
All the jet engines, all the time.
But what would the naming convention be? Like Metal Mega? Metal Proto Metal?
Metal Roll. Metal Man.
Look out, it's Metal Man. Which one?
Metal Man. Too many metals. So many metals.
I mean, you could, especially some of the very early classic Robot Masters, you could probably give them the Metal Sonic treatment because they are so simple in design and simplify them in a way that would be rather spooky. That could be fun.
Metal Airman. Airman's already like halfway there. So.
Jet turbine instead of a wind turbine.
Exactly.
But, I don't feel like it's a big enough distinction. Like the roboticized masters played with the old robotization concept. The Eggman turns animals into robots, and some of the robot master elements, but also kind of harkening back to the Maverick bosses. Those worked on multiple levels as a callback to both franchises, as this big kind of celebration of all their tropes.
Mm-hmm.
Metal series of the Robot Masters, I feel like, doesn't achieve that. Maybe I'm overthinking what should be just simple fan service. That's probably what it boils down to. But it was never something we really seriously considered, and it would look cool, but I don't think it would have the same substance as the roboticized masters did.
Yeah.
I mean, with the roboticized masters, you have the fun of what do these characters gain in terms of weaponry? How do you convert them into something that looks Mega Man-y? There's a lot of creative freedom to be had there, and you can apply it to the extended cast. I'm sure there are fan concepts out there for like Cream Woman and
can confirm 100%.
I'm sure they're out there because that's a lot of fun. Metal versions, it's an easy enough template, but I feel like it's the same template. It's just make them sleeker and deadlier and cooler looking, which is fine, but I feel like it's not quite as engaging.
Maybe. What could have been, Here's a question from Shaggy Dog. Hey guys, so last month I saw a lot of people on Twitter and in the reviews for issue 63 showing a lot of support for more Blaze and Soul Dimension content in the series, as well as a fair bit of people, presumably Sonic Rush fans, hoping for Blaze to have more stories without the involvement of Silver, hoping that she can get the spotlight to herself for a bit. So I was wondering if you think it's possible we could get a bigger story or even a mini-series involving Blaze and the Soul Dimension anytime in the near-ish future. I've also seen a lot of people hoping for Blaze to have less Silver involvement in her appearances, showing a bit of disappointment with the end of issue 64. So I was wondering if you guys had any thoughts on that as well.
All valid feedback. Again, I'm not directly involved with what's coming out with IDW for a bit, so I can't say for certain. But I don't think we're getting any Blaze or Soul Dimension stuff. Part of the reason of bringing Blaze over within the context that we did was so that she would be available for the extended cast and not have to worry about the Soul Dimension and its incredibly ill-defined settings. So it's certainly fertile ground. I would love to go back there, and just Blaze in general would be cool. Mm-hmm. I understand not wanting to see her with Silver as much. It's kind of the same, like, oh, it's Sonic and Tails together.
Mm-hmm.
Again, how surprising. But I feel like it's a little different in that Blaze and Silver's dynamic hasn't been really explored a lot. We know what their dynamic is. We've been told what their dynamic is, but usually when they show up together, it's as part of a greater ensemble, and we don't really see them as a duo. We just see them paired up within a larger, big fight scene. So I think there's still opportunity to explore how they work together, because we haven't really seen them do a lot, just the two of them post '06.
Right.
And that was kind of what the backup story to 64 was to do, was to put them in this kind of base level. Okay, here they are. They are willing to work together and they want to go adventuring and exploring. Now go do that. Here they are. It's all set up. Do something with it. Whoever, me, Evan, Danny, anybody, pick up that ball and run with it. So either way, Blaze, I don't think Blaze works 100% by herself, because she's usually like the straight foil. She is the competent one. She is the one with the initiative. She is the one who will think things through, and she is the one who will do something about the problem. But you need somebody to bounce off of her. You need a little bit of a dynamic there. Kind of Sonic-y in that way, where Sonic will be an instigator. He will drive the story forward, to be sure, but sometimes he needs a little counteraction. Not as much, because he is so much more personable. He's going to crack a joke. He's going to add some levity to the action, whatever it may be. Blaze is going to be much more stoic throughout. I feel like that's fine, but you need something to spice it up a little bit. Both of them benefit from having characters to bounce off of, but I feel like Blaze especially works better if she has someone to rebound off of, whether that is Silver or, as in a previous thing, Tangle would be great for her to work with. Or really double down on the stoicism. Blaze and Whisper together. That'd be pretty cool. The lady's getting stuff done.
Nice. All right. Here's this next question from Sonic Padge. I don't have $5,555 for a collab between Crush 40 and Ron Wasserman of Go-Go Power Rangers fame, but I do have $5 for the next best thing. Could you two vocalize a conceptual collaborative butt rock track between these two artists? Kyle, you vocally improvised the instruments, including a solo. Ian, you improvised the lyrics with iconic rasp. Please include vague allusions to Sonic and Power Rangers, the lyric raw power, crushing speed, and the word go 15 times. Thank you very much. Are these the lyrics to Launch Base Zone from Sonic 3? Go, go, go. Go, go, go. Go, go, go.
Serious question. Should I record this separately so it's an easier time to sync?
I guess. Did you actually write this? I didn't. I don't have it.
No.
Okay, well.
I did not prepare for this. But,
I'm not prepared for it either.
But he did say improvise, so.
Okay. I mean, you can just record it now. It's fine.
I mean, are we really concerned about the quality of this?
No.
All right. Kyle, lay me down a slick beat. Muffler in his hand. He comes across because he can. He's got the raw power and the crushing speed. He is the hero that we want and that we need. Go, 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 Sonic Ranger.
What is this?
That could have been worse.
What is this mess? This is awful. Could have been worse. Could have been better. Could have been worse. Here we go. My motorcycle went dead. I don't know. I couldn't come up with anything. I'm supposed to squeedly and meadly. Squeedly, meadly, meadly, squeedly, meadly, meadly. There you go. There's your solo. Stick that in there somewhere. It's like Squeedly versus Meadly over here.
Thank you, Agent K. As if you didn't say it, I would.
Oh, boy. All right, let's go on to this next one. This next one is from Spoiler 1001. Let's say you were told you had to bring Fiona Fox into the IDW books, but she was not allowed to be a villain. How would you incorporate her into the comic?
That is a tricky one. Are we saying it's like Archie Fiona that through timey-wimey wibbly-wobbly was transplanted into IDW? Or are we saying IDW fresh start Fiona? Because
I don't know.
the most interesting thing about Fiona was her villainy.
I mean, eventually at some point, yeah.
She kind of had that outsider's perspective to the freedom fighters that didn't go anywhere or amount to anything until we put the heel turn spin on it. And beyond that, she was just kind of generic, kind of smart, kind of capable character person, you know? Her defining trait was that she had a robot double that Tails fell for in a somewhat goofy, somewhat melodramatic story. That was it.
Yeah.
Most of the meat to her character came within the pathos of her feeling betrayed and unwanted and overlooked. And so she said, screw it, and went villain. So to take away that angle kind of robs her of a lot of her agency and interest.
The suggestion I'm getting is Surge's girlfriend. It's like, well, okay.
Yeah, let's pigeonhole her there.
Let's trade one green evil hedgehog-like creature for another. It's fine.
You could maybe do it as she comes over from Archie and sees this as an actual chance for a fresh start. Maybe sees a lot of worrisome parallels with, you know, the Sonic and crew of this world compared to what came before, but there's a difference there. There's a lack of baggage. So maybe she can start anew, and that's her arc, is she wants to start fresh. She wants another chance, and being free of any other defining factors, she can make herself who she wants to be. And that might be kind of compelling.
And then she meets Surge. It's over from there.
If we're creating her wholesale new for IDW, well, then she's just a new character.
Yeah.
Whatever we need to fill, just, you know, give it to her. She is pretty much a blank slate at that point.
Essentially. Yes. Here's one from Super Blue Lightspeed. Does Imaginary World account for dreams in all of time? In other words, does the realm contain past dreams, present dreams, and future dreams?
That depends on how ephemeral these dreams are. Do dreams end once the dreamer wakes? Do they endure beyond them? I would say that yes, because dreams are a product of our own minds. So how can it exist before we have conceptualized it? Why would it linger on after we've awakened? But I don't know. The imaginary world hasn't been really explored in much depth.
Are they dreams of an absolution, might you say?
Possibly.
Are they in the night? Dream delight? Here's one from Super Luigi 018. How is Sonic Prime canon despite contradicting the lore of the games in so many ways? I can't help but wonder why bother creating a lore team if the next major project contradicts the lore so heavily. Also, what does "my hands are tied" mean regarding the badniks/flickies?
Number one, as I've said repeatedly, I'm not going to talk about how Prime fits into the canon until the show is done. I don't want to spoil anything. Number two, I can't pull back the curtain too far on stuff, but Prime was well into production before the Lore Council was a thing.
Yep.
Corrections were made, but the Lore Council was not overseeing the project. We are one department out of many. And an animated production already has a lot of gears turning in their own right. So we did what we could, when and where we could.
Yes.
As for the hands are tied, I don't know the context of that one.
It might be the badniks and flickies in Prime they're referring to. Yeah. I don't know exactly.
And I don't know what the issue is there. I don't know whose hands are tied. I mean, if I said something at some point, I don't think it was that important because I don't retain it at all.
Oh well. Here's a question from Might of Gabura. Are possibilities in Sonic's worldview ways that things could have been and or ways things can be? Like in Tails 2 number 4, where Tails talked about them and named examples, like the different Sonics, those are way things could have been, right? The Sonic in a band is a funny thought.
Yes.
Sonic is in a band. There's Vector is also there. And a rabbit character that I'm forgetting the name of.
That was Mach.
Mach, okay. And who else? There was another
There's Max the monkey and
Monkey.
Sharps the... Everyone thought he was a chicken, but he was a chicken. He was a cockatiel.
Oh,
No.
Interesting.
I think his species changed a number of times behind the scenes. Cockatoo? Parakeet. Parakeet. He was a parakeet.
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 Parakeet? Why do you need a pair of them? TV Guru has a question. Does Tangle not know about Whisper's battle with Surge? Sonic's mannerisms in number 57 when he mentioned it implied it was a secret between him and Whisper.
I think it's more of that she doesn't know the severity of it. She knows that there was a tussle. I don't think she knows how bad it got.
Why? Just to spare her because she would inevitably go over there and try to whoop her?
You know how she gets.
I know how Tangle gets. It's true. And our last question on this episode comes to us courtesy of Zaylock. How would you write a crossover between Sonic the Hedgehog and Looney Tunes, but with specifically the Sonic Boom and Looney Tunes show, the early 2010 sitcom reboot incarnations of the characters?
I never really saw a lot of that version of Looney Tunes. The one bit I'm most familiar with is Daffy Duck the Wizard, and I don't really think that's indicative of the rest of the show. But I imagine there would be so much dry wit between the two of them, you could use it as sandpaper.
It's just Space Jam, but Sonic.
I mean, at some point, you had to have Eggman and Elmer team up with matching blunderbusses. Shh, be very, very quiet. We're hunting rodents. I mean, hedgehogs. Rabbits? What are we hunting again, Elmer?
We're hunting them all.
And really, the major conflict in all of this is the Looney Tunes crew just looking for a new apartment on the Hedgehog Island. But they don't really do high rises here, and the jungle hut thing kind of gets old. They want air conditioning.
I would like to see it. I'm being suggested that the Speedy's Pizza Place competes with Medburger. I didn't know Speedy was even in newer incarnations of Looney Tunes, so good for him. All right. I think that's enough of this BumbleKast.
But before we go, scheduling didn't quite work out, so we owe all of our supporters from September a big thank you and shout out. So, big thank you to Daniel H., Jennifer R., James K., John B., Robotnicum, Sam Cybercat, Almighty Lantern, Torchbound, Andrew D., Mike B., Mismatched Moogle, Noni, Salute Your Cat, Dave M., J. Frost, Coupland Crew 128, Hero of Light 13, Do As Diz Den, Professor Scruffy Matt, Chris A., Scurvy Pirate Hog, Sony, Twilord, Chaos Sonic 1, Ben Wolfsbane, John M., Triforce Riku, Sonic, Jib, Lisa M., Lee H.K., Chevelle, Joshua S., Axis, Starlight Sec, Tick Tick, Mixer 17, Z Prodgas, Cameron H., Jolene B., The Discan, Jonathan D., Godzilla, Solaris Stain, Det Guy Jimmy, Nondal, Ava Arctic, Dove, Just a Mountain Soul, Alex KR, Jennifer H., Yuma221, Tetsuya the Wise, Angela V., Justin S., Alpha Manor, Yukin, Independent Thievius, Jack the Animator, Dadler the Dalek, Sonic Legacy, Morless, Wildcard 717, Sandra B.H., Sonic 84, Of the Stars, Jinzel, Les, Daniel B., Red the Supernamic, Hearts 13, and Tails, Chad, Rocco D., Chow Researcher, Puppy the Scholar, E200 Paragon, Sammy S., Miles the Prower, Navarre, Accidental Agent Kaz, The Marble Gardener, 4 Sonic Fan, Rhythm and Tempo, Pig Dan, Jara, Ozjam, Shimmy M., Derusiful, Curly Quills, Smiley 21, Philip is Cold, Preston M., Sterling Sonic, Noah M., Icy Wolfie, Congo, Windskull, Supernova, Superior Pizza, Sonic Padge, Ty H., Kojiro Highwind, Supersonic Fan, Thickoff, Planet Breezy, Chase L., Radry, Cool Christy 1, Omega Man 21, Shaggy Dog, Nils, Levi C., Unity, Jason G., Samuth S., Will SP, The ID Card, Jonathan F., Subliminal, Amazing, Knuckle Sandwich 87, Adrian W., In Zephyr, Glitchiest, Fang, Gino the Puppet, Miggy Sawdust, Vlad, Lemur Chicken, Alejandro 333777, Luke R., Michael P., Icon PNG, Turtle Tuck, Trogon H., The Phantomist, OK Cheesestick, William M., Kazi, North Salt 15, Relaxed Hoodie, Aido, All Peachy, Angel Fox Kitsune, Lacey M., Swidemo, Chunka S.A., Gideon W., Boy King Elias, Lucky Lychee, Lovo M., Native Nerd 27, Soul Dice Ultra Guy, Noob 600, Crowbo, Sonic Mania 2099, Hadronis Paley, Raccoon Shinobi, Normal Person, Marcy H. Caswell, Mr. Bird, the Giant Murdering Bird, Sebastian P., Gihanna S., Snow Pear, Cat Van Bryan, The Man of Multimedia, Foofy93, Mrs. Nippy, Florian, Call Me Ryan, Onion Girl, David, Ninemyun, Alice B., Candy B., Trevor, Big Mama, DDR Master M, Michael D, Tuesday Omega, Tara W, Jamal S, Wheels 282, Hedgehog, Metamode, Frost the Hobbidon, Danny the Light, Buttered Noodles, Miles Per Hour D, L Technopada, True Cosmic Digilab 79, Travis H, Hero Squad, Kaizen Amen, Woods, Quentin D, Hedge, Supersonic Bros, Geo Knuckles, Zach D, Shadow, Sabater Z, Alan S, Cali Calico 728, Hatok, Scourge Time, Somebody, Spoiler 1001, Ursi Bear, Steph Cube, The Mida Gabora, Zeno Mama Robotnik, Happy Times, and Nemesis Metal.
Cool.
Thank you, everyone, for supporting the show, listening as always, and we'll see how long that list is when we get to the end of October. Criminy.
Thanks, everybody.
Until then, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Take care.
List of names goes here.
Supporters. Supporters. We dropped some sick beats earlier. They were very sick, as in they were sick. Okay. I mean, might do my other show one of these days. We'll see.
Oh, right.
whatever we need to do. I mean,
is NGI scheduled for Friday?
I'm trying to remember. Was it? Yeah, I didn't do it last week, so yeah, I guess it is.
Okay, well that answers that then.
I guess we'll just do that then. I don't know.
You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
Kyle had a vacation time,
Yep.
and for penance of enjoying life, we have to scramble to catch up. So,
I mean, we don't have to. We have plenty of minis, but, here we are anyway. We're going to do it anyway.
we are.
Okay. I'm ready to go.
All right.
So let's go.